Oops, we did it again! Welcome to News Television for All. I'm Gentry McShane, and this is episode 2. We have a lot in store for you on today's show. We have Eden 420 with the 420 tweets of the week. We have Joyous De Assis, youth activist.
I feel like that, especially with this virus going around, it should be the number one priority to help those who are on the street get into a safer environment that doesn't keep them in the elements.
And much more, so stay tuned. We're number one. We're number one. That's right. The USA has done it again. We are number one for coronavirus cases in the world, at 800,000 confirmed cases and over 42,000 deaths. In a series of tweets sent out by President Trump on Friday, he incited thousands of his followers to take to the streets in states all across the USA to demand an end to shelter-in-place and stay-at-home orders. Unfortunately, after checking in with COVID-19 herself, I don't think that that's going to work out for them so well.
Now everybody breathe! Who wants to be famous? Who wants to die for
Applebee's.
I do!
Many Americans last week and in the weeks to come are going to be receiving a $1,200 stimulus. This $1,200 stimulus was part of the CARES Act to relieve people from the economic disparity that the coronavirus has caused in the United States. Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar has drafted a bill that would give $2,000 a month to every American over the age of 16 for the next year, as well as freezing all rents and mortgages. The bill also proposes that the payments would be made through direct deposit, as well as other venues like PayPal or Venmo. What would you prefer? This or this? Breaking news today, a Business Insider article has shown that Amazon-owned Whole Foods, which is also CEO Jeff Bezos' company, is quietly tracking employees. Through an interactive heat map, it is showing which of their 510 stores is most susceptible to unionization. The heat map tracks things like racial diversity, employee loyalty. Obviously, this is totally unethical. Shame on you, Jeff Bezos. Cough it the fuck up. Former press secretary for the Bernie Sanders campaign, Brianna Joy Gray, announced last Monday that she would not be endorsing Joe Biden despite Bernie Sanders' endorsement. In her tweet, she said, "With the utmost respect for Bernie Sanders, who is an incredible human being and a genuine inspiration, I don't endorse Joe Biden. I supported Bernie Sanders because he backed ideas like Medicare for all, canceling all student debt, and a wealth tax. Biden supports none of those." Also on board with not yet endorsing Joe Biden is New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who said she's not ready. The freshman representative said she would want the Democratic nominee to clarify his positions on healthcare and the environment. Clarity is not something I see coming from Joe Biden, but you never know. State Senator Elizabeth Warren has come out of hiding to show her support for Vice President Joe Biden. Imagine her shock and surprise when she realizes that most of us are already planning the next primary at the beginning of 2022. Governor Gavin Newsom has also drafted a proposal to provide financial assistance to undocumented people in the state of California. This has been met, of course, with terrible backlash from the right wing in other states. This just in, we are standing on indigenous land. All right, let's go to our Culture Desk correspondent, Pilar, with the Quarantine Dating Report. Hey, Pilar.
Thank you, Gentry. Hi, everybody. My name is Pilar. You guys might know me from my blogs, Fuck Feast, and a blog about the devil. I'm here today because I was interested in reporting on the world of dating during coronavirus. As we all know, dating can be a really complicated and tricky thing, even in the best of times. So I set out and decided to talk to some people on some local dating apps and websites about what their experiences were like with online dating and what they were looking for. The first place that I looked was an online dating app called Hinge. Match number 1 said to me, "What's up? We should get together. When are you free? The quarantine is here to stay. We gotta make adjustments. You ever out in Oakland?" Interesting that he knows that the quarantine is here to stay, and he still asked me if I were ever out in Oakland. Maybe he doesn't really understand what the quarantine is all about. When I asked him what he was looking for on the dating app, he said, "True love." Okay, buddy. Match number 2 asked, "Can we drink wine and make out during Corona, or is that frowned upon?" "IDK, I'm ready to risk it all. I'd let you give me Corona. If you catch my drift, hubba hubba. I just want to snuggle and laugh and make out a little." He also told me, "I love eating ass." Cute. Anyways, looks like bug chasing and gift giving are alive and well in the time of coronavirus. Some things change and some things never do. Coming from Facebook, Miss K said, "I think the biggest annoyances I have are the guys who come out the gates like, 'How's quarantine? So horny, haha.' And the ones who still want to meet up despite the fact that there's a whole ass pandemic going on, and then try to gaslight me into thinking that me wanting to comply with, CDC advised measured, is some kind of bad thing. Miss K, I feel you. Don't talk to match number 2 on Hinge. He's gonna try to get you to break quarantine." Miss R said of her pandemic dating, "I was sleeping with a friend of mine, and since we started having sex, he's been kind of a classic boy about the whole thing. I got sick with corona symptoms soon after our last hookup. So I told him about it and have been checking up on him every so often. I'll ask, 'How are you feeling? Still healthy?' And he'll say, 'Actually, I just got back from the clinic, and turns out I'm 100% that bitch.' He has also said things like, 'Yo, I got corona,' and then be like, 'JK. Like, great joke, but this is stressful as fuck, dude. Please stop." Looks like the people do not like being faked out with coronavirus symptoms during this weird time. Pretty unattractive. Lastly, we talked to Brontez Purnell. Here's what he had to say about the current situation. "I love the COVID relief-minded free global search on Grindr right now. It's like, here, now you can send a dick pics to all the garbage fuckboys in Berlin, and without a subscription fee. I thought the revolution would look different than this. I really did." Sorry to disappoint you, Brontez. In conclusion, it looks like the world of dating is just as complicated and weird and uncomfortable as it always has been. So, good luck to all you singles out there. Happy dating!
Fuck these fuckboy police! Fuck them!
Welcome to this week's episode of Hump or No. Our topics, first, mullets.
Mullets. I think the mullet is inherently punk because it's defying both realms that it's coming from.
Right. Ugly on purpose is punk. So,
I agree.
yeah.
What's next?
Girl Scout cookies.
Ooh, Girl Scout cookies. Are they punk? So, it's little girls participating in capitalism.
Sitting in the cold with their parents. Trying not punk. I'm sorry, not for me. No.
So no for you.
For me, it's a no.
It's a no. For me, it's a no. Next, mosh pits. So right now we're in quarantine, so that's probably like the least punk thing you could do.
Right. Bad.
Ooh, next one.
Denise Richards.
Denise Richards, punk or no? What do you think?
I think she did a threesome in Wild Things and had her tits out for the world to see, and she played like a proud idiot on 30 Rock, and I've never really seen somebody be like, I'm an idiot. Like, that's super punk to me, so I liked that.
She also participates in a lot of charities. Like for children's hospitals and for animal shelters and stuff.
Okay.
So why not?
We'll take her.
She's punk.
Punk.
Denise Richards, you're punk.
You hear that, bitch? You're punk.
Next.
One of the girls.
Ooh, Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne.
Oh my
What
gosh.
do you think?
So, out of respect to her and her interview that she did, where she says it's more punk to say you're not punk, I'm gonna say no for her.
You're gonna say no?
Yeah.
Because she said herself.
Because she said herself.
Well, the proof is in the pudding. This next one's fun.
Ooh, black lipstick. Well, all I have to say is Taylor Swift wore it on the red carpet. So it's officially not punk.
No!
Oh, and now we have some from
The Community?
Oh, the Community. Our first one comes from Argentum, and it's Crocs. What do you think?
I think so.
Is anything more punk than a well-ventilated foot? Like, I don't know.
Back to ugly on purpose.
Exactly!
Crocs.
Punk. Alright, next we have cooking from Tina.
What a broad.
Is
broad
cooking punk?
subject.
I think inherently cooking is punk because it's DIY.
Yeah, it's like.
Over
literally.
industrialization. Oh, wow. Cooking's punk.
Deep.
Oh, we got a really good suggestion from Gentry.
The movie Magic Mike. Have you seen it?
I know it's about dude strippers.
It's dude strippers.
Cool. What do you think?
I think that it doesn't show any dock. No dick in the male stripper movie. Not punk. Show dicks.
Are there any like thick or not typical male stripper body dudes?
I think they're buff white guys.
Not punk.
See you next time on Punk or No.
We will now be going to correspondent Eden Savage with the 420 tweet report.
Happy 420. I got a bunch of weed delivered to me and now I'm going to smoke it and read some of the top trending tweets of the week. This week trending on Twitter was Fuddruckers, along with the White House advisor says people protesting the stay-at-home orders are modern-day Rosa Parks because they're a fucking idiot. There were cats that were ready for another weekend of social distancing, and Trump called for 3 states to be liberated from COVID-19 restrictions. Those tweets were liberate Minnesota, liberate Michigan, and liberate Virginia and save your great Second Amendment. It's under siege, which is fucking alarming. Accusing the Democratic governors of a mutiny. Just today on 420, he also tweeted, in light of the attack from the invisible enemy, as well as the need to protect the jobs of our great American citizens, I will be signing an executive order to temporarily suspend immigration into the United States, which is also fucking crazy. Mitch McConnell tweeted today that it's been 4 days since the Paycheck Protection Program ran dry. Republicans have been trying to fund this job-saving program for over a week, but Democrats have blocked us. The Paycheck Protection Program, a $349 billion relief fund for small businesses, has been drained in less than 2 weeks. Small businesses have been left in the dust, but somehow Shake Shack managed to secure $10 million and Ruth's Chris Steakhouses got a whopping $20 million. But then Shake Shack decided to give the $10 million back that the government had given them because they don't need it, but they also applied for it. Kim Jong-un may or may not be dead or almost dying. Demi Lovato got called out for creating a Finsta. Then she changed her Finsta name from Trauma Queen Forever to Dolphins Forever 02. And those are the top trending tweets of the week.
Last week, actions were held all over the state of California for the No Vacancy campaign. The No Vacancy campaign is a campaign focused on housing homeless people during the COVID-19 crisis and the stay-at-home order. I had a chance last week to sit down with Joyous de Assis, a 17-year-old youth activist with the organization The Village. Let's go check in with her.
My name's Joyous. I'm 17. I go to Berkeley City College. I was born and raised in Oakland. I'm part of The Village. I've been with it since it started.
Go ahead and explain what The Village is.
Yeah. The Village is a grassroots organization full of volunteers where we go and we build homes for people who are unhoused.
And tell me a little bit about this action that happened last week. Was it Wednesday?
I believe it was Wednesday, yes. It was at the Days Hotel that was located on Eads and Hagenberger.
Okay.
We did the action to bring awareness and also try to get Libby Schaff's attention that she has access to hotel rooms that are open and that they should be moving homeless people into these hotels with this COVID-19 going around, and they're not. And the only way for them to go into the hotels is if they get sick. Which is completely dumb. Why wouldn't you move them in before they get sick?
Absolutely, especially since, the virus doesn't work that way. A lot of people are asymptomatic and they're still spreading it, so.
Right. And I'm pretty sure that they're still going around terrorizing people in the encampments. They're also in the Deep East giving homeless people tickets for being outside, which is completely dumb because where else are they supposed to go? You won't let them into the hotels.
So they're giving them tickets, they're breaking shelter in place, but not providing shelter, essentially.
Right.
Could you maybe tell me why this is a issue that is close to your heart, or what draws you to it?
Yeah. I am unhoused myself. I live with my mother in a camper. It's very hard to do social distancing and having a place or having access to a bathroom where you can, keep your hygiene up. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that, especially with this virus going around, it should be the number one priority to help those who are on the street get into a safer environment that doesn't keep them in the elements.
I assume that during an action at this time, you would still be socially distant during the action.
Yeah. We made sure that everyone stayed to 6 feet apart, that everyone wore masks and gloves. We made sure, we had hand sanitizer, making sure people were not so close to each other.
What kind of, who came out to support you and be your accomplices for this?
It was a mixture of everyone in the community. People came out with banners they made, with signs, with hashtags.
Awesome. And do you think that there's going to be any kind of follow-up to this? Do you think you'll do it again or do anything similar?
Probably in the near future, yes. We'll do more.
Great.
We'll do more things like we did last time.
What are your hopes and what are your fears, essentially?
What I'm hoping is that people in the city would open their eyes and realize that there are a lot of abandoned houses and apartments and access to hotels, and hopefully now than later that they realize that it's little common sense. There are people in the streets and you don't want this virus to spread, so what do? You put them into houses, into hotels,
Absolutely.
And what I'm hoping is that they open their eyes and realize it's just, that simple. You have the access. Let's just get it done. And the fears is that they're probably not going to do it. And it's going to have to be the community who, has to do it once again.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It's nice talking to you and nice meeting you. Bye. As rage from essential workers begins to trickle up, Ellen DeGeneres has laid off most of her crew and hired non-union people, and is receiving a lot of backlash for it after continuing her show at home. All right, well, that makes sense. It shows where her loyalties are. We will now be cutting to our segment with Noam Chomsky and the secret word of the day.
Today's secret word is mutual aid. The garden where I am now, Gentry, was never exposed to mutual aid as a concept. Neoliberalism likes to tout things like philanthropy and charity as something that can fix crises, intervene in these situations. Mutual aid requires participatory, collaborative work between both parties rather than one party involved allotting resources or arbiting social worker and a person to be helped in need of work, a client. As far as what you should do when the secret word is mentioned, maybe reflect on ways that we could better engage with structures of mutual aid with people around us, physically, immaterially.
Hello, I'm Celia Sagastume with astrosagas.com, and this is your astrology weather report for April 20th through the 26th, 2020. On April 20th, we start Tauro season, and so this will be easier energy to deal with the quarantine, especially if you've done the work in Aries season to plant the seeds for the future that you want to see. We have to realize that this is not an exceptional time. This is what our reality is going to be like moving forward. For all of us who are living through it, we're going to be those old people that are going to be saving N95 masks and talking about tinfoil with little hats on because we are going to be anticipating the next pandemic. This is our future. And so in Tauro, we realize that we need to secure certain things that make us comfortable, and this is the time to make sure that you create the comfort and serenity that you need in your home space in order to move into that new moon in Tauro on April 22nd, which is about us stepping in as leaders and co-creators of the reality around us. We have to realize that we are powerful, agentic people in this world, and that the culture that we are participating in is fed by our own energy. The new moon in Tauro is here to bring you a sense of community and connectedness, and also a sense of responsibility for Earth sphere, for the space that we inhabit, and for this space station through which we move through the solar system. We've got to make sure that the beings here are okay, including ourselves. And now is the time to recognize your personal responsibility to step in, bring your gifts, bring your energy, and figure out how you're going to transform this culture together. As we move through the week, we're going to have Pluto going into retrograde in Capricorn on April 25th. This will dig up a lot of old desire. And so I'm very specifically talking about texting your exes, trying to cruise in the park, even though you know it's not okay, or really desiring some intimate connection, especially if you're quarantining alone. And I feel for you. But if you are in a shelter-in-place zone, then you still cannot reach out and connect in the ways that you would like to. So I highly suggest that you set an intention at that new moon in Tauro at the beginning of the week to figure out how you're going to deal with this Pluto retrograde, because I promise you, Pluto is the planet of desire, and it will dig up all of the things that you feel like you're missing. On April 26th, we have Sun conjunct Uranus. This will send a lightning bolt straight up your Uranus, and I promise you that if you did not feel that Pluto retrograde Capricorn digging up all of those desires, you will definitely feel that Uranus energy shining a lightning bolt straight into your energetic body. And so this is a beautiful time to get out of the house, do some exercise, go for a walk. If you're a more contemplative person, this is a wonderful day for some meditation and some inspiration, tuning into the higher mind. And if you're more of an embodied person, you are going to feel very energetic and maybe even frustrated by the end of this week because we are stuck inside. So make a plan for how you're going to tire yourself out, especially on April 26th, plus or minus 2 days. As we move into the moon report for the week, we have the moon traversing from Aries through Géminis, which means that this is an energetic week that is going to feel very inspiring and optimistic. Again, because all that energy is being funneled into the small environment of our homes, I have to say that frustration may be high. Now, doing the light horoscopes really quick, I will say that certain signs, especially the ones that are heavily influenced by Uranus, by Pluto, and by Mars, are going to be feeling really frustrated this week. So of course, that includes my Aries, that includes my Géminis, and for these folks, you are going to feel very energetic and very confined. So remember on the 22nd, during that new moon in Tauro, to set an intention for how you're going to deal with this lightning bolt that's happening over here. As we move forward through Capricorn and all the way into Pisces, I have to say, of course, Pisces, you are going to be feeling very frustrated this week. You might want to tune into the dream time that you have available to you and figure out how it is that you want to reconnect with people that you miss, because you will miss them. If you want a full horoscope, please check out my own channel, Instagram, Astrosagas, or astrosagas.com for a full personalized horoscope on video. And otherwise, con mucho, 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 mucho amor.
Thank you everybody for watching. That was our show today. Please like, comment, and subscribe on this video on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at NTFA Official. For segment submissions, story solicitations, mutual aid needs, and more, please email ntfaofficial@gmail.com. You can also check out my Instagram at CatPowerman5000, where I share fire memes every day. All right, thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.